Welcome everyone to another show of Straight from the Paws. As my mask falls down, see my new mask? It's a Straight from the Paws mask. So I'm going to take it off because as I'm talking it's going to fall off and I didn't secure it. Again, I'm here with my co-host, Beverly Andrade.
Hi everyone.
And we're still outside. It's a little chilly and a little bit nippy. It's for the start of November, but we're going to still cannot go in the studio with our friends back at Fall River Media, so we're going to stay out here and we're going to do the best we can. So if it gets a little windy and our hair looks a little windblown, please accept the fact that that's the way Mother Nature is with us today. All right, Beverly, so today I know you're excited about telling everybody about Pasha, who has a new name. Right. So tell us a little bit about Pasha.
So, like you said about our hair, just to take a little, I'm going to take this down a little bit. The last show we did, it was a very hot day and my hair was a mess. And now today is like a hurricane out here. Oh my God. So anyway, Pasha, the dog that we had in our last show for fosters, has been adopted, not fostered. Yay. And because of that, he is in his forever home. And we're very, very excited about that. And I'd like to tell our audience how they can follow Pasha. Pasha's new name is Giovanni Cannoli. You can find him at hashtag Giovanni Cannoli on Instagram. And currently he has 1,400 followers. It's amazing. I'm going to actually have some pictures of him that are going to be coming up on the site today as we're talking about him. And I want to let everybody know that you can follow him and see him in all his little glory. Gail, he's wearing pajamas.
I know, I've seen him.
Or pajamas, however you want to say it. He has his pajamas on, he has his toy box. He does go for walks, controlled walks. Doesn't go for runs or anything. As you know, Giovanni Cannoli has a heart condition, so he doesn't get to have long, fast kind of walks. Very gentle walks. He goes to the beach. He's living the good life. If you get to watch him on hashtag Giovanni Cannoli,
on Instagram, aka
Pasha, you will see him leading the good life with all of his toys, his clothes. His mom actually cooks for him. She has a special recipe of food that's loaded with vitamins and minerals and things that are good for his heart. She got it, I think, from a veterinarian. And she has
people have been giving suggestions to her, like all kinds of suggestions of what's going on. Right. And explain about why the pajamas.
Well, the pajamas being adorable, first of all. Yes, they are. And his coat is so now glossy. The pajamas are necessary for his fragile skin. If you can remember back in October when we did the Foster Reason show, you saw him sitting out here. You could see his elbows and his knees, his stomach. Everything was like raw and blistered and scaly. With the pajamas, when he lays down, it doesn't irritate it. So you will see him on hashtag Giovanni Cannoli on Instagram in his PJs. It's the most adorable thing because he's not a tiny dog. He's a very large dog. Also, Gail, the good news is he's gaining weight. I believe she said at the last Instagram post, he's gained almost 10 pounds.
Really? I didn't see that.
He's gained almost 10 pounds. So he's really doing well. And he's not showing a lot of symptoms, but he does go to the vet on a regular basis. I believe every 2 weeks I've seen postings. And his mom and his dad post everything. They post all his medication protocol. They post how he's doing with the meds. And sometimes they've actually changed the medication of the original hospitalization where we put him. They've actually gone to a cardiologist with this dog. Can you believe it? He has his own cardiologist now. So they're doing a wonderful job with Giovanni Cannoli, and his nickname is Gio.
Gio, right. And I got to say, you know, I got to put out a shout out to Ariana, our director, because she had the humongous task of finding the perfect home. Not necessarily, we were looking for a hospice home, we weren't necessarily looking for an adoptive home, and she had so many emails and so many people coming in and donating like food. Remember, we were getting chicken, we were cooking chicken. I mean, people, the audience was fantastic at what they were doing for us, and well appreciated. So this is
all states.
from all over. Absolutely,
Illinois,
it was unbelievable.
Ohio, South Carolina,
Giovanni,
everywhere.
I mean, this is a very precious dog, and again, that's why I say to people, you know, why have we been doing this so long? Because these are the kind of stories that just tug at your heart, and then all of a sudden, again, Ariana found the perfect home. You know, they don't have any children, they don't have any other animals in the house.
They had 2 cats.
Oh, excuse me, you're right, and he's befriended them. He's fine with them. You're right. Right. He didn't have any other dogs, right? Because they take in medical needed dogs, and they take care of them till the end of time. So, you know, I just think that that's important for people to understand. And the staff here, you know, like you said, we came back at night and we fed him and took him out for his last walk and all that. You get attached to that dog. It was like, and so following him now, I could never believe that they would have a following like this, but it's amazing.
1,400 people.
That is crazy.
That was as of yesterday, which would be the last week in October.
Okay.
Just before Halloween when I looked at it, so that was 1,400 people. I haven't gone and looked at it again. So
it's been a while. Yeah, it could be more. Absolutely. So that's the good news. And what about some of the kittens that we had?
Well, the kittens that were on our foster program that we did in October are all in foster care. I believe those kittens are coming back the first week of November, so they'll be back soon. They'll be spay and neutered, inoculated, and they'll be up for adoption. Probably as this show is airing, they probably will already be here up for adoption. I believe as of this airing, there are still more kittens in foster care. And if you recall that last show that we did when it was really hot for October, I couldn't believe how hot it was. And we talked about a lot of the kittens were coming back in foster. I believe just the last week in October, there was something like 12 to 17 kittens that were 15 kittens. Ariana's in front of us, she's giving me signals. There were 15 kittens were adopted in 1 week, and they're flying out the door. I believe my last 2 fosters are coming in the last week of October also, and they're getting their spay and neutered. They'll be up for adoption. So the adoptions have been great, and thankfully the kitten season has saved us tremendously. And people like Pasha got more and more people looking at our social media, so that's been wonderful. And then Ariana, God forbid, Ariana has been wonderful. If you noticed our masks, that was another Ariana thing. And you all have noticed our shirts, that's another Ariana thing. And I believe when we split this show off, Ariana's going to come out.
She is.
And she's going to show you the shirt that sold out in like 2 days.
Yes.
And also, we wanted to talk about a new fundraiser that is an old fundraiser. We always had our Festival of Trees, and I think we came up with another idea, didn't we, Gail?
We did come up with another idea, which I'm going to talk a little bit with Ariana about. We have, you know, everyone has been bummed out that we don't have the Festival of Trees because it's a great fundraiser. Everybody loves it. It was a kickoff to the holiday season.
And it would be this weekend.
And it would be this weekend, and we unfortunately cannot do it. So we've been toying with some ideas, and Ariana again has been willing to help us do something online. So her and I are going to talk a little bit about that. But I want to go back to fostering for a little bit because I want to share too that, you know, everybody thinks, oh, you know, fostering, I can't do it. And I got to tell you, this batch of kittens that we've had all summer, throughout the summer and in through the fall, I totally fell in love with one little guy that I didn't think he would make it. He was so little, he looked like a little rodent or a little mouse or whatever you want to call him when he came through. And he came through and he made it. And this is, I think, the first time in all the time we've been fostering that I turned around and said, I really want to adopt this kitten. And it does.
Highly allergic
I am.
to cats.
I am. But he was such a delight to see him struggle to make it. and to thrive. And I just want to share that because it is difficult. It is very, very difficult to see these, and sometimes they don't make it, but I don't think and over the years that we've fostered, we haven't lost too many. Every morning fearful that he wasn't going to be around, but he made it. So I'm very pleased with him, what they work and how they made it, and how you especially, I got to give a shout out to you because you really have, you nurse them. I mother them, and I'm not really good with that. I sort of just assist because I get nervous. I'm afraid I'm going to hurt them. But I'll tell you, fostering is something that is difficult to do, but again, so rewarding. And then back to Giovanni and Gio, it took a village here.
It did.
It took a village to help this animal, and we did. And again, that's one of the things I'm so proud about with this shelter. Everyone is involved. Our board of directors, if you come in here during the week, you're going to see most of the time a different board of director at the desk, or you're going to see someone from our fundraising committee at the desk. Everyone that's handpicked to be there. We have, again, because of COVID, we don't have a lot of volunteers in here, but we do have some that have come back to us, like we've got Tim and Muriel and a few people that come in on a regular basis that willing to come back into our environment and help us out. We've got Fran and Nancy that represent Warren Sullivan Funeral Home. They've been doing it for a couple of years now. On Monday, they come in every Monday, they volunteer, they do the dishes, they do the laundry, and they both have adopted 2 cats from us. One was one of our
Fosters, yep.
And one was another cat that was in here.
Athena that became Molly, and I don't know the other one.
I don't know the name, but they're doing so well, and I know that Fran has adopted dogs from us in the past, and that's what it's all about. The old saying, it takes a village. We have that village here at Forever Paws. Even like doing these TV shows, where I was just talking with our next month's guest, and I said, we've been doing this for so long that it's almost impossible. I can't believe we still do this, but yet it gets out and we get to talk to the Joe public and let people know what we're doing. We try very hard, and again, Fall River Media helping us get our message out to people. It's incredible. It's really incredible. Lucy comes in every other week and she does the hot dogs and cool cats, continues to do that, so you get to see the different animals that we have in the building. And I must say, we haven't had a lot of animals, but because of COVID, we're trying. Like you said, you mentioned about the kittens. They really has helped us through the summer months and into the fall to keep going. We're struggling like every other small business, but as we continue to struggle, we continue to have other people that join us and help us out. And I want to thank everyone for that. I could go on and name 1,000 people here that help out, but I just want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because without your help, we wouldn't be able to continue to do what we do. And I think, a shout out to everyone here, the staff, the volunteers, my fellow board of directors. We do a great job. And, I think we do a great job. I got to say that, I think, in all the new aspects that Ariana's brought on, social media, she's got us blowing off of that. I got to say, Beverly's now working on Instagram now. She does Twitter, we have, of course, Facebook. We continue to have Facebook. The numbers are rising in there, and our name is out there into Joe Public, and everybody knows who we are. And I'm just blown away by all of it, but yet we continue to move forward, and I'm so pleased with that. We have such a great program here, and we're still, we're
still in a pandemic.
We're still in the pandemic.
Oh my God.
We're still going to wear the masks, unfortunately, and Bev and I are somewhat almost 6 feet apart. We kind of figured that out.
We do the show pretty much 6 feet apart.
Yeah, we try to do that. We sit out here a little chilly today, but that's okay.
Yeah, I've got my sweatshirt back here if I need to put it on.
Yeah, so I just want to thank everyone, and I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and I'm going to have Ariana join us.
Flu season is here, and a flu vaccine is your best protection. Everyone 6 months or older should get one, even if you're perfectly healthy. When you protect yourself, you also protect your loved ones. Don't delay. Get your flu shot today.
Welcome everybody back to Forever Paws Shelter and Straight for the Paws. And we just lost one of our
pumpkins.
There you go. Now you're going to hold my props up. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, now let's clear this one here. It's the wind. We talked about the wind before.
Hi.
Ariana's back. We were talking about you before on the show, so you'll have to watch the show and see all the things I said about you.
Oh boy.
Boy is right. So, anyway, we brought Ariana out for a couple of reasons. One is we talked a little bit about that you designed some of our shirts that we put out there, and so I want you to see people show this was the fall one, Halloween, no, Thanksgiving one. Can you just stand and show? Look what she's got there. Look at that. Forever Paws Animal Shelter, designed by our own Ariana. Thank you, Ariana.
You're welcome.
And our own model as well. And she's already promised me that we'll have a design for Christmas as well.
Yep, the Christmas one is in the works.
Yeah, I don't know where she finds the time to take care of her animals at home, plus her family, and but she does, and that's not my problem. That's her problem. She does a good job, and we've said that before, so we're not going to make her think that we like her or anything. So the next thing is, Ariana does that as well. But we're talking about the exciting news that we're not having our festival of trees on a regular basis, but you agreed to help us put something together online.
Yep. So what we'll do is we will accept some trees as donations, just like they would normally.
Right.
Businesses or private people who want to design a tree with a certain theme. Hopefully we can get 3 trees per week that we can auction off on Facebook. So you'll have a couple of pictures and videos of the trees. There'll be a description of what the tree theme is and what's included with that tree, and people will be able to bid for them online.
Right. So if the bidding is different, obviously it's going to be a monetary bidding this time, not just tickets, because we can't do it. In the past, our trees have been $100 or more in access. So some people will give like maybe $200. Say the value is $200, maybe just $100. Not just $100 is a good value for a tree. And then what will happen is we'll have to have a pickup date where we can pick them up at the shelter. So we're working on that. It's in the works. Ariana, Bev, and I are going to put it together. If we have enough for the 3 weeks, or we only have 2 per week, whatever it is. But we're going to try that just to keep everybody in the spirit and not to lose out on our Festival of Trees. Because it would have been Ariana's first year, because she knew about it last year, and you did a tree for us last year.
I did a tree for you last year, and I've actually attended your event for the last 2 years. So.
Okay, so she knows what it's all about, and I think that people were saying to us, "I just feel bad about it. Can't you do something about it?" And I made the mistake of actually our office manager Teresa came up with the idea, and to Bev, and I was like, well, let's run it by Ariana, which was the mistake that I was saying, because Christmas is the holiday season, it's going to be crazy busy, but Ariana's like, oh, no problem,
we'll do it.
No problem, we'll do it. Not a problem.
It'll work. I think the first one is hopefully going to be set to do Black Friday, and then we'll continue for I think the goal is 3 weeks after that. Yep. So whatever we have, we'll show to you guys, and we'll go from there.
Sounds like a plan. She makes it sound so easy, but I'm not sure that I agree with that. But okay, I'll go along with it. So we also want to talk a little bit about, because as we know, it's windy and it's cool out here today. Being in November, it makes it a little difficult. But Ariana, I know that you've got a lot of expertise about animal information for the winter and stuff. Could you just talk a little bit about helping our audience for the winter months with their animals? Sure.
So for your own animals, that you own that are in your home, you want to make sure that you are using, some pet friendly. The ice melt that you use, you want to make sure that everything in your vehicle is checked, so you don't have any leaks of antifreeze and things like that. You want to make sure when your dogs go out in the snow or the wet weather, that you dry off their paws when they come in, or if there is snow, that you check for the little snowballs that can get caught in between their toes, because some people are like, oh, well, they'll just lick them off, or oh, it's not a big deal, but they can cause real irritation in between the paws, and they can end up getting infected, or if they get a scratch that you can't see and they're constantly licking at it, that is something that can turn into a much bigger problem. So, you want to make sure when your dogs are going out that when they come in, you are cleaning and drying off their pads appropriately. Depending on where you walk or your backyard situation, you'd probably want to put a little glow in the dark tag on their collar. They sell little tiny ones that loop right around the collar on Amazon, just because it can get a little bit scary for the dogs. And you, if you're watching them or you lose sight of them, other animals might be hiding in the wayside to try to get shelter and things like that. So you want to make sure that your dog is visible to you at all times, doesn't get stuck somewhere, or isn't having an altercation with another animal in the backyard or on a walk, or if you're on a hike, things like that. As far as the cats go, if you are in a neighborhood where there are a lot of stray cats around, or neighbors feed cats, and you do see the cats around, and you want to help them out a little bit, you can make a very simple outdoor enclosure for them. You can take a tote, which you can get for like $5 at Walmart. So you get a plastic tote with a cover, and then you can get a styrofoam cooler for the inside. So you would stick the styrofoam cooler on the inside of the tote. You'd cut a hole in the tote so the cat could go in and out. So if you have it, like a rectangle here, the lid is on the bottom and it has a little hole in there that the cat can go in and out. The styrofoam works as insulation, and you can just throw some Timothy hay in there, and the hay will hold the heat. And then the cats will have some place to go, some small bit of shelter, for the brutal weather in the winter.
Wow. Yeah, it is scary, and I don't think people understand. I also know too that some dog. I know something too that like we put a coat on a dog,
Yep.
a sweater, and when they come off, sometimes they got mats underneath there, or they've got a little bit stuck to them too. You got to make sure that you brush that out.
Yeah, because that'll just add knots.
Right.
If you're wearing a coat and suiting up to go out for a walk, do the same thing for your dog.
Yeah.
And don't leave your dogs outside in sub-degree weathers. If you have neighbors or you see something that you're concerned about, please call your local animal control department and report it. There are laws which you can look at, mass.gov. You can look at animal tethering laws. You can look at what the law is, in Massachusetts, where they have to have food, water, shelter at all times. And I believe that there are limited hours that the dog can be outside. And if there is a weather warning, the animal should be inside as well. So the same slogan, if you see something, say something. The worst case scenario is the animal control officer will go out and do a wellness check, and they unfortunately will be following the rules. But if they're not following the rules, then it will be addressed at that time, and you will play a big part in ensuring that the animal on that property is safe.
Yeah, it's scary because people don't, you think you're doing the right thing, and sometimes you're not. And I also think that, the collars and the slip leads and all that, I think, especially in the wintertime, if you're walking and you have difficulty walking, what kind of collar, what kind of leash that you use? We try to use here that might be more helpful for the audience to bring their dogs out on.
So you're going to want to, I would stay away from the retractable leashes. They can get stuck, they can get jammed up. I wouldn't really do the retractable leashes. You ideally would be walking the dog on a harness. If the dog is on a harness and it slips away from you, he's not going to be stuck. If it gets stuck with him running, the harness will be less likely to get stuck at the neck, because most harnesses are at your chest or back level, so you won't have to worry about that. We use the martingale collars here so they can't slip out of them. Sometimes you're walking, you don't realize it, but all of a sudden you have some frostbite in your hands, or they get a little stiff. That could be at the same time that the dog sees another dog that he wants to go chase. The dog, the leash falls out of your hands and now you're chasing your dog. So that can happen, but I think the harnesses would be the safest bet, because you wouldn't have to worry about losing the dog and then the dog getting the leash stuck on something and choking. He would just be stuck there until someone found him.
I also like to mention too, put a little plug in here about our program for microchipping. Can you explain to our audience? I know some people, we look, well, you can explain it better than I, so go ahead.
So some people think a microchip is a GPS tracking device, which it is not. It is actually a very small plastic piece. It is about the size of a grain of rice. There's a number attached to that chip, and when you microchip your animal, we register all of your information, so like your name, your address, your phone number, also alternate contacts, and email addresses. So if your animal does get loose and it gets picked up either by a public person or animal control, some people will bring animals to a vet and they're happy to scan a lost animal to check for a microchip. Animal control, and obviously us here, we scan all the animals that come in for the chip. And if they have the chip, we contact the company the chip is registered to, and they will let us know if the chip has been registered. And if it has, we are able to get the owned information and call you, and you can get back. It's much easier to get your animal back that way.
Okay, so that is important. Now let's talk a little bit about calling animal control. I know some people, I want to put a plug in Animal Control. They do an awesome job in towns that we work with, at cities and 2 cities and town we work with. They do an awesome job. But again, it's like our phone system here. We only have 2 phone lines, 1 person answering, certain amount of time. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so when you're dealing with Fall River Animal Control, there are 2 people on full time, and you can call and leave your message for them. Their number is 508-324-2037. Most likely you are going to get the machine because they are out patrolling, but they do check their machine from the van, they do check in the morning, they do check before they leave for the day. So the most important thing would be to leave them a message with your information so they can get back to you. It's the same story with New Bedford Animal Control. So there are 3 people on. Nobody is sitting in an office doing paperwork. They have to cover the whole city. So you would want to call them and leave them a message, and they will return that call to you when they can.
Right, they're not just waiting for messages too, because I know Cindy in Fall River, and I'm sure they do this in New Bedford, they go check the dog park to make sure that it's being cleaned and all that, and some areas that they know that they have the feral cats colonies, they go check on those to see what's going on, or quarantines that they have to give paperwork on. So they're doing a lot of work besides just driving around in the
right,
car.
so they have to respond to hit by cars, they have to respond to whatever's going to court, they have to check with City Hall for licensing, plus whoever's lost their animal, whoever can't find their animal, you found an animal. So it's an ongoing job, and it's very difficult for them to do the whole thing in the 8-hour day that they have, but the most important thing is to leave the message and they will call you back.
Well, I hope, folks, that the information that Ariana's provided you today will help you in the upcoming cold months, which, we're all looking forward to, right, Ariana?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, she is. Me, not so much, but I hope that we gave you enough information. Please go on our website, www.foreverpaws.com, and, hopefully you'll be seeing our Festival of Trees on Facebook.
Yep.
And you'll join us and see, maybe you'll bid on a tree and win a tree. I want to thank you all again for watching Straight from the Paws. Have a great day.